This is not a journal. This is not anything you're going to save. And what you're going to do is you're going to take everything that's spinning in your head and just write it on the paper.
Hi, welcome to the Judy Terrell Show, where I explore topics intended to optimize every body 50, 60, 70, and above.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to my podcast. Today, we are going to talk about sleep. And if you're alive on the planet right now, most of the clients that I'm working with, sleep is elusive. It is one of the 7 pillars of lifestyle medicine. And as with all of them, they are all interrelated, but each one is important in and of itself. And everybody who's listening to me knows when you are not able to sleep, it affects everything. It affects your decision making with food. It affects your motivation for exercise. It affects your stress resilience with everything else in your life. It affects your relationships. It affects everything. And so sleep is so important. And because so many clients that I work with, over 50, both men and women both, are finding sleep very elusive, this is why I'm doing this podcast. All right, so let's talk about sleep disruption over 50. There are multiple categories of what might make somebody not sleep well once they're past menopause, if a female, or just over 60 as a male. And I'm going to address one particular category in this podcast today. So if you are somebody who has tried melatonin and it hasn't worked for you, who has tried magnesium in various forms and that hasn't worked for you, who's been on hormone replacement therapy, and if you're a female, and that's helped a little bit, but you're still struggling with the night awakenings and not being able to get back to sleep, or when you try to go to sleep, your ability to downwind is arrested and it takes a long time to fall asleep, or you're even waking up prematurely and then can't get back to sleep, and it's like 4 a.m. and now you're up for the day. All those scenarios I just described are the outer manifestation of a type of sleep disturbance that I label busy mind, okay? It is sleep being disturbed by a revved up and stuck in hyper on mode sympathetic nervous system. Our nervous system has kind of 2 switches. One, it revs us up, getting us ready for fight or flight, getting us ready to face our day in the morning. And then the other one, the nervous system, calms us down when the fight or flight episode is done, and now we can relax, repair, rejuvenate. Parasympathetic is the relaxation side of our nervous system, and sympathetic, turned on, is the jacked up, revved up nervous system. For many of my clients, by far, the biggest reason why they are not able to sleep is because their nervous system is stuck on the high mode. Now, a lot of my clients that are in this scenario, outwardly, when we talk about this, they'll say, yeah, no, I don't think I'm that stressed. I handle stress pretty well. But if you are somebody who's having difficulty, sleeping, and you've tried the other methodologies that I just mentioned and others, then I would suggest to you that your cortisol circadian rhythm is compromised by internally your sympathetic nervous system staying in the on mode, even though on the outside you may, present and feel as if you're calm, okay, or not getting ruffled. But busy mind waking you up and then not being able to fall back to sleep is like what I call the poker tell. If you're playing a poker game and everyone's trying to not show what their cards are, but you can read someone has a twitch or an outside manifestation, that's the tell of what their hand looks like. So waking up and having busy mind is a tell that you are probably in this heightened sympathetic nervous system position, which, by the way, makes your cortisol, which should be high in the morning and then go through a circadian rhythm and coming down so that it's the lowest point when you go to bed. The opposite of melatonin, which is high in the morning, which is low in the morning, and then through the day, and as you get prepared for bed, should be going up. Now, if you tried the melatonin and you're not getting aid with sleep, that means that your melatonin cycle is probably okay. You're not a travel person who goes through timelines, or you don't work swing shifts. Your circadian rhythm of sleep is kind of more in line with the natural rhythm of daylight and darkness. Melatonin is not your issue, but cortisol may very well be. Cortisol, instead of going up in the morning and then going down as the day progresses and being low at night, we are all, when your sympathetic nervous system is revved up, which we kind of all are, some of us more than others, but now that cortisol is still high because the sympathetic nervous system inside you you're spinning on things from the day, and so your nervous system is staying jacked up. All right. If you are identifying with this and it's feeling like it's ringing true for you, this podcast, I'm giving you 3 lifestyle medicine techniques to do that aren't supplements, that are part of what should become for you everyday habit patterns, which is the definition of lifestyle medicine, is what are our habit patterns that we're doing repetitively that will serve in many cases even more effectively than a substance, whether it be a supplement, a medication, hormone, peptide, whatever. I'm not saying there might not be a place for those, but if you're taking those, but you're still in this revved up sympathetic nervous system and you don't have habit patterns to help to bring that down, you're only going to get so much relief from those other substances because those are built on the bottom of a pyramid, with the bottom being your everyday habit patterns. That's the definition of lifestyle medicine. That is what I program and coach. So 3 skills, all of them are simple and easy, but I'm going to offer them to you so that you can be exposed to them and then integrate them into your habit patterns, give them enough repetitions, I would say 2 weeks, and then see if you don't start to notice a difference in your sleep. All right, so the first one is what is called a brain dump. It's not the most sexy term, but you'll get why it's called that because I'm going to walk you through it right now. So a brain dump will be done, somewhere between an hour to a half hour before you go to bed. And all it is you take a piece of blank paper. This is not a journal. This is not anything you're going to save. And what you're going to do is you're going to take everything that's spinning in your head and just write it on the paper. All right. So for instance, you might be like, okay, oh my God, tomorrow I have to get up early and I have to take the dog to the vet. And then after that, I've got to make sure that I get my kid off, and they have to have special things for their day that I have to make sure that I've put together for them. Oh, and by the way, I am so mad. Like today at work, it was unbelievable. I cannot believe that my boss, blah, 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 blah. But you see what I'm doing here. You are just like, another word I use for it, which is even less sexy than a brain dump, is vomit on paper. But you're just vomiting out. Your brain's spinning, which is causing cortisol to be at a high level and your nervous system, your sympathetic nervous system, to be revved up, keeping your heart rate at a high level, keeping your breathing rate with big inhales for oxygenation, keeping chemistry in your body as if you were going to have to physically perform something to save your life. But you don't. Nowadays, we don't have the physical stressors. We have all this intellectual, mental, and emotional stressors. So the research shows when you write this down and you get it out of the closed container of your brain and on paper, there is a release and a change to your nervous system engagement. And you will now down-regulate your nervous system out of this on-stuck mode sympathetic firing and into parasympathetic, which is where you want to be as you're going to bed. All right. So I would definitely suggest you use this as part of your night rituals if you are somebody who has difficulty falling asleep or who wakes up prematurely and then can't get back to sleep. And to that point, you can also use it if you wake up and can't get back to sleep. Get out of bed, go out into another room so you're not staying awake and perseverating on it and linking that to your bed and your nervous system. Get out of bed, go to a desk, go to the kitchen, take a piece of paper, do your brain dump, and then go back to bed. I think that what you will find, and what my clients find, and I use this one quite often, is that it's going to be a great aid, even more powerful than sleep medication, without waking up feeling groggy. So that is technique number 1. Technique number 2, I have this queued up on my computer, but technique number 2 involves an app on your phone. All right. I can't show you my phone because my phone is what's recording this, but I have it queued up on my computer. There are several apps: Calm, Insight Timer, Headspace. And these are apps for your phone, and they have guided meditations. So let me play one for you, a part of one.
surrender. Let them relax.
So basically, you would have already bookmarked, and it's not a meditation, it is a guided visualization. And this one that I just played you, I don't know if you can hear it, but it was guiding you through a body. Start with your face, relax your face, and then go into your shoulders, relax your shoulders. But it's somebody guiding you. So what that does is it's guiding you to a parasympathetic nervous system engagement, but you don't have to think about it. You're passively following it and listening to it, and that detracts your mind from whatever you were spinning on or even dreaming on that woke you up, that you might remember or not remember, but that was stressing you out. So now you're bringing your mind to this, you're kind of like toggling it and distracting it off those other things while you're doing a relaxation guided visualization. And this one, you could do it before bed, but this one I'm suggesting if you wake up and can't get back to sleep, have it queued up on your phone, right? Turn on the phone, play it. They have ones that are like 3 to 5 minutes. So you're not listening to something that's a half an hour or 45 minutes, but short 3 to 5 minute guided visualization. And then it'll go off, and then you may be then more apt to drift off back into sleep in a much more relaxed state. All right, so that is technique number 2 in the lifestyle medicine techniques. And technique number 3 is something called pulsetto. All right, this is a vagus nerve stimulating device. So the vagus nerve runs from your brain down your neck and then down the front of your body, and it innervates your heart, your lungs, and all your entire digestive system. When the vagus nerve is stimulated, it doesn't rev us up, it calms us down. So you probably have read things about calming down the vagus nerve for helping with GI issues like excessive stomach acid, which is a side effect of anxiety and stress and the sympathetic nervous system being revved up. But that vagus nerve being understimulated because your nervous system is on the fight or flight switch. So this is a device. It's linked to an app on your phone. You put this around your neck, and it's going to touch right onto your vagus nerves. Get this under my hair, and it rests right on it. Now, the app has different intensities and different durations, and what it's going to do is it stimulates the vagus nerve. When you stimulate the vagus nerve, that is going to turn on the parasympathetic nervous system, the relax, rejuvenate, and repair switch of our nervous system. You use a little gel, which you'd put on the neck before you put this on to help conduct. And then you can have a low intensity, or it goes from 1 to 10. So depending on your tolerance and what feels comfortable to you, it shouldn't be anxiety provoking. Do the lower levels. What it's doing is it's helping your body to go into a parasympathetic, relaxed nervous system state. Okay. So I would suggest if somebody, you use this before bed, again, within an hour to a half hour of going to sleep. You could also use it if you wake up prematurely. I like to use this one as a before you go to bed, because in the night to get up and put it together and put the cream on and all that might be too stimulating, right? But so if you use it before you go to bed, you're already going in a lower nervous system engagement state. So even if you can fall asleep easily, but you wake up prematurely, it would help that as well, even though that's happening in the middle of the night. So again, to summarize, many of my clients are not able to sleep for a lot of reasons. Some people, it's heat, issues for females. Some men, it's snoring and sleep apnea. Some, it's the environmental conditions of the room. It's noisy, or it's light, or the temperature is wrong. Some, it's because your melatonin levels are off and you need to work with, getting your sleep cycle toggled back to your circadian rhythm of the area you're in. But for most of my clients, by far, it is this busy mind right now. And so the 3 techniques from a lifestyle medicine perspective are brain dump, right, before you go to sleep, having queued up this relaxation guided visualization to take your mind off whatever you're spinning on and engage the parasympathetic nervous system, as does the brain dump. And then the pulsetto, which is vagus nerve stimulating, which calms down the nervous system. So those 3 things, you can use one of them, you can use all 3 of them. if you put two together, that might be even more powerful than just having one. So I invite you to explore these. And as I always say to all my clients I work with, lifestyle, your repetitive daily habit patterns is the foundation, and it is your most potent medication for the chronic illnesses and the things that are making our quality of life lower in our everyday living. So, try it out, get back to me and tell me what kind of results you have from it. And I hope to see you soon on another video. And see you soon.
And if you'd like to have access to some of my additional resources, I can be found at Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and on my website, www.judyterrell.com.